Feel like lucid be my dreams. Said you love me, so I'm sure you know the means. It's like I'm living all inside a movie in a dream. Sequels to my life entirely up to me. Slowly suffocating, do you notice how it feels? Baby, can you hold me while I'm running through the field? Like hills that have the eye, but I do not think they see me. Even if they do, then I guess gon' have to kill me.
Alright, let's get it started. Let's get it popping, bro. It's 3 a.m. I'm tired.
The most cold-blooded hit
I see. Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like I seen probably most of these though.
was that of a guy named Fifth in Toronto. He was waiting in what looked like an apartment building, staring down at his phone, when 2 men approached and fired through the window, with one of the two wiping his prints off the weapon mid-shooting before wiping the door down, opening it, and firing a bit more. I have seen a lot of footage, heard a lot of stories, but when you see something like this, you know it's not just the work of a rookie. Toronto has a homicide clearance rate of 80% alongside a low crime rate, making it the 6th safest major city in the entire world. Now, this is the 4th largest city in North America. That's out of 46 different countries and territories, including the US, all of Central America, and 47 if you include Puerto Rico as its own separate thing. With law enforcement this effective, a person that gets away with murder in Toronto is arguably one of the most dangerous people on this side of the planet.
Yeah. The thing is with Toronto, I'm gonna keep it a stack with y'all niggas. Toronto is a safe place if you're a regular civilian. But it becomes more like it becomes one of the most dangerous places if you're a nigga there with clout, with bread, anything. You have a fucking target on your back, my nigga. Especially if you're a nigga who's not from Toronto. Like, say you're like, if you notice, like, a lot of US artists and shit, they'll come out to Toronto and they get fucking robbed and shit. It's because you're going into a country where you have to go past customs. You can't bring no fucking gun with you. So you're going there, you're going to a place where you can't have no weapon, but niggas know you have money and they have weapons. So if you're a day-to-day person, you're probably not going to just get shot and killed. But when you have money, when you have a name, you get a target on your back in Toronto. It becomes one of the, a very dangerous city, my nigga, when it comes to like money and shit.
And this fifth guy, this is a man that allegedly had his casket carried by Drake. Caught on high definition camera almost 10 years ago, this murder is still unsolved, despite the fact that the getaway car was caught on 2 different cameras, although it appears to have no plates. And this also happened in an area of Toronto, Scarborough, which has a crime rate lower than the city average. Now, Toronto itself only has 172 open unsolved murder investigations since 2004. Now, this doesn't include cold cases,
172 down.
Which Toronto has over 700, but just for reference, from 2014 to 2023, a span of just 9 years, St. Louis, a city with about 2 million fewer people than Toronto, saw over 1,000 unsolved murders. My point is, the brutality in a place like Toronto more than makes up for the low crime rate, due to the fact that to get away with something like this, you actually have to take a calculated risk, something, despite the perception, most American cities just don't see. And like I said in a previous video, the similarities between New York and Toronto are striking. But then again, due to the drill culture, many cities see the same sort of violence and disrespect. One of the gangs I came across that struck me in my research was, of course, NHS, a clique started by a kid called NHSJJ, and he actually ended up deceased under mysterious circumstances that allegedly started with a chain of events that was set off when he
I don't think JJ's murder didn't get solved, right? I don't think so.
Allegedly tried to collect a bounty placed on another Toronto rapper's head, a guy called Thoroughbred who has been in the rap scene for over a decade, and he actually was arrested in LA due to his involvement allegedly in a Miami murder years later. But supposedly, NHSJJ heard about some kind of bounty, no matter how much it was, and went to collect it while Thoroughbred was in the car with his daughter. And he allegedly fired at least 60 shots according to the intended target, but this could just be an exaggeration. Fortunately though, both Thoroughbred and his daughter survived, although his daughter was grazed by a bullet. According to rumors and even lyrics from Thoroughbred himself, he returned the favor by putting money on JJ's head, allegedly, which led to him being backdoored and left dead inside of his own home. Now, often when somebody dies, a girl or just guys who pretended to be friends with the victim get the blame for a mysterious situation like this, where I must say, being killed inside your own home where the police don't suspect a home invasion does make it seem like he might have let his own killers in, which is exactly what Thoroughbred said in the song, by the way. But the most chilling part of it is a video that surfaced online about a week after JJ's death that I honestly couldn't believe, but then again, we live in the 21st century where even people working in the hospital will leak a picture of a deceased rapper or gang member for money. Just think about the alleged picture of Von's autopsy that went around in 2020, the photo of YBC Duel dead in the hospital that surfaced in 2024, and also
I never saw that.
A picture of 800 TJ lying dead on a hospital bed, which floated around.
I never saw that either.
Around Chicago due to his own ops posting it to their social media. Pretty sick stuff. The video showed JJ walking in.
I saw this. I feel like this was a show a setup. This was 100% a setup. It seemed like he had bread on his head. Niggas said, yo, you do it. Niggas got a video of him like, boom, he's right there. I can do, you know? And you know,
to his house shortly before his
like, it was niggas who was cool with him. Oh, this where he at. This where he at. I can get it done. Just let me know if you want. If you're gonna send the bread through. Da da da. It's like, say where it bet. And niggas backdoor, and then niggas killed him.
murder. Although the video is,
I don't think this was like just a op who was just watching him. I feel like this was probably one of his. So nigga, he knew, or I don't fucking know.
very clear, there's no doubt the location looks very similar to the exact street the Niagara police state they found his body. And this was after receiving a call about a suspicious person in the area, likely someone staked outside his home. I couldn't find the original uploader of the video, and I assumed the police didn't either. But the video shows that despite living in a suburb called Lincoln, over an hour away from the Jane and Finch neighborhood in Toronto, it was no secret to his ops where he lived. And despite Lincoln being one of the safer areas in Ontario outside of Toronto, his murder remains unsolved to this day. And this led to much of the signature disrespect of the dead that we know all too well in drill culture, and probably the most well-known person to diss him is Top 5, a pretty menacing figure in the Toronto scene that has had his name associated with Drake in the past, including Top 5 once referring to himself as Drake Shooter. Although this could have just been for clout, there's no doubt about this guy's involvement in the streets, as he was
Top 5, bro. I feel like Top 5 is like, bro, he moves like, I don't know. I feel like he says way too much, bro. Like, I feel like the stuff that he says is gonna get him indicted, bro. I'm telling y'all niggas, y'all don't understand how the police is. He beat them. He got off on that murder charge before. You don't think the police looking at this nigga like, oh, this nigga play with this like a goofy, shot a music video in the bin, all type of shit. Bro, I'm telling you, they're plotting on this nigga. They're just waiting. They just want him to get comfortable. So he's saying all of this shit, saying this. I'm telling you, that's the nigga who I feel like they're plotting on, and I feel like because it helps with his brand, he's gonna keep doing it, but it's gonna end up being the downfall of him, bro. I don't know. I feel like the police for sure plotting on like hitting him with a crazy charge.
And acquitted of a 2021 murder in 2024, where after his release, he even thanked.
And like they might indict the whole group. I don't fucking know, bro. But they for sure watching that shit. Like they for sure want to get back at him because bro, that nigga was fucking like shooting videos in the bin, trolling niggas. Got out still talking crazy like. Beat the case that they did have for him. Like, they want to, you know?
Including Top 5 once referring to himself as Drake Shooter. Although this could have just been for clout, there's no doubt about this guy's involvement in the streets, as he was charged and acquitted of a 2021 murder in 2024, where after his release, he even thanked Drake publicly for paying his lawyer fees. Although he has since been rearrested for gun possession in January 2025. Now, NHS has been described by some as one of the most dangerous gangs in the city, but this title has been given to many hoods in every city, so it's hard to say. And with many of the members currently locked up or dead, this is even harder to prove. But they do seem to take credit for at least one unsolved murder in Toronto, with the man they diss called YB still having his face featured on Toronto's current homicide investigations list. And this murder having taken place all the way back in 2018, it's unlikely that
that nigga is 20. December 21st, 2018. 7 years ago. Damn. Yo, 2018 was 7 years ago, my nigga. Holy fuck. On Friday, December... Oh, no, he's probably going to...
Toronto police have any hard evidence to prove who did it, and it will likely remain unsolved. As in any city, it's common for guys to seemingly take credit for murders they didn't commit, just to be disrespectful to another set, and YB was known to be at least associated with some members of the Mount Olive clique. It's also rumored that he could have just been an unaffiliated associate, which is just as dangerous as being a part of it. For instance, while listening to the story of 600 Tricks out of Chicago as told by Tay Capone, Tricks ended up being killed essentially because he allowed himself to be used by 600, as they would simply just use him as a ride to go and shoot at people out of his own personal vehicle, as most gang members are teenagers, and in a city, unlike a small town, most teens don't have their own personal vehicle. And the reason I say an associate is just as dangerous as being a full member is because even in high school, it's not hard to grasp the fact that when you're seen with a group of guys, no shooter is just gonna stop to ask your exact affiliation before they start shooting. So it's up to you if you're gonna let yourself be put in this situation. As Tricks wasn't a killer, a shooter, or anything other than a ride essentially, but this cost him his life. And he was even disrespected by members of 600 such as C-Day who disowned him, further showing that it's not even worth it to do something like this. As you might have heard in one of my earlier videos, I have a friend who was shot 5 times, essentially just for letting the wrong people smoke in his car. So your involvement doesn't even have to go as deep as being a riot like Tricks. Now, back to Top 5 and NHS. On a quick side note, there's a difference between reporting on rumors in the street that these guys report on themselves when they hop on social media and actually hosting an argument between rivals like something like Clubhouse. DJ Academics, a guy who once called out Brandon Buckingham for being a culture vulture, likely only because Brandon is white, once hosted Top 5 and one of his ops, Doovie from NHS, on a live stream where they did.
This is kind of different though. What academic, like, I'm not even saying Brandon Buckingham, I don't really know like too much about him, but Brandon Buckingham be going to the blocks and doing like all type shit. Academics, I remember his stream. He was trying to get them to go on live and squash it and shit.
disrespected each other's dead friends, and Ack just sat back and watched while making millions from it. He's also the one that reposted Top 5 thanking Drake for paying his lawyer fees. And despite being a direct vulture, Ack is not from any hood in the USA. In fact, he spent his entire childhood and teenage years, you know, the years where you jump off the porch, in Jamaica, although I've never heard him speak about any hood in Jamaica. And he only came to the US once he started attending Rutgers University, which is probably where
academics are regular nigga, but Jamaica is way dangerous than fucking Toronto, Canada, all of that. Nigga, Jamaica niggas just walking up to you. You'll be chilling, walking on the side. Some random nigga just head tap you, just go in your pockets, nigga. Jamaica's crazy, bro.
he perfected his New Jersey
accent.
accent.
I don't give a fuck, nigga. I get rich, nigga. I'm straight. You only time I have family there. I don't give a fuck, nigga. I'm only touching down in Montego Bay, nigga. All the tourist attractions where there's mad security, nigga.
I would never host any gang member on my channel, even if they was from my neighborhood in Chicago, unless we was talking about some peace or trying to push
niggas
the kids
chop you up with machetes and shit, bro.
in the right direction. I'm not about to bring y'all up here to argue, especially not guys from another city, let alone a foreign country. That's what you call a vulture. But moving away from all that for a second, the Toronto accent is very unique.
Hey, yo, what's going on, fam? You good, fam? You staying, fam?
Really reflecting the fact that
niggas do not talk like this, bro. I have yet to actually meet a nigga who genuinely, like, talks like this and is not forcing it, fam. Like, though you'll say certain shit like, fam. But any nigga, yo, you saying G, yo. No nigga talks like that, bro. Every nigga who talks like that forces it, bro. Hey, yo, G, you saying, fam. Nobody talks like that, bro.
Canada, despite its proximity and the fact that we speak the same language, is far different from the USA. I'm not sure if it's the influence of Pidgin, which in case you didn't know, Pidgin grammatically develops as a simplified way for groups.
And force it, it's so annoying.
Yeah. Yo, the US niggas be bugging out. They be thinking niggas dead ass talk like that. Like, you're not gonna go your day-to-day life and like hear a nigga talk like that, bro.
They don't speak the same language to communicate, i.e. the most known form of Pidgin, at least in the USA, is Jamaican Patois, although Pidgin is also spoken in many other parts of the world. This is why, despite speaking English, many Americans just cannot seem to easily understand when someone from Jamaica begins to speak. Even leading to a huge misconception by many Americans that Jamaicans are speaking a foreign language when they are in fact speaking English, just not the Queen's English. For example, when I was in college, I had a buddy from Lagos, Nigeria, who I just could not understand when he was on the phone with someone back in Nigeria, despite the fact he told me he was speaking English. He's actually the one to clarify what Pidgin was to me, by the way. And Toronto is one of the most multicultural and multiracial cities in the entire...
Long story short, bare Caribbean niggas moved to Toronto. Jamaicans, all type of shit. So, start saying like shit like fam. Like, that's shit that Jamaican niggas like. But, bro, they took, like, Jamaican words, and then bare Jamaican niggas and Caribbean niggas moved to the UK. So that's why the UK and America and Canada have, like, similar slang. So, like, you'll see a nigga say, like, fam, but that's, like, what Jamaican niggas say. But they just made it slang over there. You know what I mean? So that's, I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of like that, bro. But then it's like weird because then you'll see niggas who are not Jamaican. You'll see like you'll see this white boy like, yo fam, you Shan G, yo you. Like you're like, yo, what the fuck is this nigga talking about, bro? Niggas do not talk like that, bro. And like it just seems forced, bro.
World, and the similarities of Pidgin and the dialect spoken here could be a result of those island boys, not them. These island boys from the British Isles spreading English all over the world due to most English speakers' unwillingness to learn a foreign language. Jokes aside, Canada is in the Commonwealth of Nations, which a vast majority of nations in the Commonwealth being former parts of the British Empire, and many people from these nations actually immigrated to Canada. And the Commonwealth seems very suspiciously like a cover for the King of England to still be the head of state in most of these nations, ceremonial or not. Also, for some of my Americans that probably don't know, the UK and Canada still have the same head of state, with the king having his own personal residence in Canada, and the Governor General, who was appointed by the king, not by vote, technically outranking the Prime Minister of Canada. The Navy is called the Royal Canadian Navy, and the Air Force is also royal. And even though Rideau Hall
I
is
forgot
the
that
official
nigga's
residence of the Governor General,
bro, I forgot fucking Queen Elizabeth died. Like the king, who the fuck is this nigga? I don't forgot this nigga's the king now.
Comes the residence of the king whenever he's in Ottawa. So what does she?
Bro, why is there a king and queen and shit? Like, what is the point? What is the purpose of having a king and shit and a queen and shit? Genuinely, what is the purpose of it? I don't even understand why that's still a thing. What does he do?
When he's in town. Also, Drake only seems to share the Toronto accent when he wants to most of the time. He could have either just been in the US for too long, or is this just how people from Forest Hill sound? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, I didn't just want to stick to gang violence specifically because obviously that wouldn't tell the whole story of Toronto, despite the fact that it can get pretty brutal here, including the weather in the winter. Toronto obviously has a very rich history and culture.
Okay. Okay, let me clear this out. What is the word? What time is it? Fucking 3 a.m. nigga. W stream. Yeah.
Something, baby, I like just how you blushing. And maybe we could bust it at the function. Turn nothing to something. Wish you could just see the horrors of my life may upbring.